Conventional wisdom holds motor races take place on a Sunday afternoon and last a couple of hours. Endurance racing is different. Everything is different. For years, the question of who can drive the furthest in one day has been best answered by Team Lion. Winners of the 2CV class for the past 8 out of 11 events. Last year, the team regained its crown, having been beaten 12 months earlier. In 2025, they and others returned to Snetterton in Norfolk to test themselves and their machinery against the clock. Despite the low power outputs from its small 2-stroke engine, racing these vehicles for so long is far from easy. Devoid of modern technology, the human element is essential in unlocking performance. Before the race even began, the Yellow Frog team struck engine trouble. Setting up the timing for the team's engines was proving troublesome. Having worked deep into the night following qualifying, work remained ongoing even as the race start approached. The team made it, and the car left the garage to form up on the grid on time. At least the car had fuel. A few hours before the race, word spread that the track had not received the expected supplies of petrol. Confusion spread. Would there even be a race? Nobody knew. Eventually, a tanker load was sourced from the refinery, allowing the race to go ahead. At 4 o'clock, the race twice around the clock began.
Which now go up and we are racing.
To win, the leading car would need to travel nearly 1,500 miles. Doing so would not be easy. Reliability is a concern for even the most successful teams. Fragility is a constant worry. Racing them is not so much a question how fast you can drive, rather how fast do you dare drive. For the already troubled Yellow Frog car, the drama started immediately when the car pitted at the end of just the second racing lap. Despite an inauspicious start, the problem was easily resolved and the car headed back out. 2 incorrectly fitted wires was found to be the culprit. The battle at the front of the field quickly formed into a duel between the 79 Team Lions car and the renamed P2W, formerly Team Dillygaff.
Well, Chub Jobs is what they're called. And
Last year, the black and orange clad team for a while looked like they might snatch victory away from the Lions car when the latter suffered a late race engine blow-up.
they had 7 laps in.
But the Lions team knows how to swap engines faster than anyone else. They kept enough of a lead to be comfortable, winning by several laps.
So that one has come out.
This year, P2W looked like they could match the number 79 on pace alone. To secure victory, conrods would have to remain contained inside the crankcase, rather than making an exciting bid for freedom.
Yeah, we had a good stint with there, good start to the race. Managed to get away from the main pack behind with the two Sea Lion cars. And just try to keep as tidy as possible, really, stay out of danger. And safety car helps us out, coming in at the right point just before we were needing to pit anyway. So dived in, and James has gone out now, and hopefully can keep us up there. We were going quick. We've got a really good engine in, to be fair. So fingers crossed it holds out, because if it stays like it is for the rest of the race, got a long way to go yet. But if it stays like it is, we're going to be in good position. So fingers crossed. Yeah, we had a good pace. We've got 3 good drivers that are not bothered about the night time, so we generally go pretty quick at night anyway. So fingers crossed that we can do the same again, and just keep pushing. Long way to go.
It's very boring with that front, isn't it? There's nothing to talk about.
It's when you catch up the back markers and you're trying to get around them as fast as you can. So yeah.
But that's not. No issues so far.
No issues so far, and hopefully we don't have any. So we'll just have to keep everything crossed that we can carry on pushing with the pace that we've got. Hopefully it doesn't work out for the others.
After just 1 hour of racing, P2W and Team Lion were the only cars on the lead lap, with Crisis at Tête Rouge a lap back. Even though the Yellow Frog car was the first pit caller of the race, it had gained 4 places. SL Racing won the last time out at Lytton Hill, and expectations of a good result were high. However, the car was in 5th place, 2 laps back from the leaders. The hope was the race would come towards it, rather than inexorably slide back.
It's not been the best at the moment. First stint with Georgie was great. He got out, held a reasonable tow with the opening start, everything was fine. Then I went out. First few laps, great, getting up to speed, some tows, and all of a sudden lost a bit of power. It's going down the back straight, it's almost like the last of headwind. So I thought I'd better come in. Couldn't find anything under on it, so that was a wasted stop. Went out, still felt a bit down at the top end, so just carried on driving a bit, and then it happened again. So I come in again, still nothing to find. So I just had to do most of my stint driving a little bit harder to try and make up for the loss of spark. So now I'm just revving it a bit harder and getting later in the braking in the S's, and more sprint driving than enduro. Along with that, there was some tomfoolery with C1s and yellow flags and safety cars, which I was quite irritated about, but I probably shouldn't go into too much detail.
Not without the appropriate wordage, but is that what you were just delayed?
Additional. Lawrence is out. He's probably been out 20 minutes. The rear gearbox mount came loose. So when you brake, being an inboard brake disc, and a longitude engine, if you brake the rear mount, the whole thing goes like that. So it's had the engine, the gearbox snapping up into the bulkhead, and we just had to time that right. It's an awkward place to get, not really a problem.
Has it dropped you back far then, or no?
We were when I came in, I think we were 5th in class, and now 9th. It was looking quite good in quality. We had some issue with overheating brake pads, so we were a bit distracted in quality testing, just getting the car to be happy with itself. But we're not happy. 5th is not bad for a start. That's where we qualified, of course. So that's fine to start. So that's okay, as long as it's there. If it wasn't for losing a little bit of spark at the top end and wasting time tying up box. So hopefully that's it. We can just push on now and make up some places.
Are you the fastest driver yet?
That's under contention. In might be George, it might be me. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've both got low 51s in our sticks.
Yeah.
So we'll have to look back at the time sheets later to see who got the final decimals.
I mean, that's that. I mean, anytime I've looked at a timing screen, occasionally I'm seeing 50s. The top two pop down into the 50s. If you're able to do 51s,
that's with a good time.
Yeah. I'm assuming their top times are likewise.
Well, they're telling each other the top two. They're playing the game.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're getting into like 49s, 47s maybe on a really good run.
Wow.
I don't know if they're there yet. They've got there in the past.
Yeah.
But no, right now on an open track we're maybe 55, 155.
Okay.
In the daytime we would maybe 153 on a good lap. During testing.
Are you able to go a bit quicker at night? Once the temperature drops, a bit more.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to slow down a bit because there's a certain lack of confidence in what you can see. But yeah, the environment is absolutely bang on for giving you a bit more. Yeah. And it's cooler for the driver as well, so you can put your heart into it a bit more.
Yeah.
Team Super Schnecker were back for their third attempt at the race, and in the early evening were running in fourth place, a transformation in fortunes. 2 years ago, the team debuted, but the car spent more time in the garage than it did on the track. People say that motorsport is supposed to be character building, but this felt more like cruelty.
We started work in here at 20 past 11 last night, and the car went out about half an hour ago, and it's 10 o'clock now, so about 9:30 we got it out on track. And the lads worked from 11:30 right through, non-stop.
An overnight effort to build a working engine out of the broken ones eventually saw the car leave the garage. It would not last long enough to take the checkered flag. Last year the car completed over 600 laps, 373 more than the year before. As the evening rolled in, the 13 car was circulating several seconds per lap faster than it had ever done before.
It occurred to me, 2 years ago we were running it to get out because it spent more time in the garage than not.
That's right.
1 year ago it was some of the time in the garage.
Yeah, but we finished the race.
And got there,
Yeah.
Now you're fifth in class.
Absolutely. Over the moon. Absolutely over the moon. Now we've had some wonderful help from Christopher Torville and Pete Sparrow since the last meeting. The car went to Peter Sparrow straight after Christmas, more or less, to have all the suspension done, and then Christopher did the engines and the rest of the car to get us here on Friday, which was absolutely fantastic. As you say, we're still in fifth at the moment, and really enjoying it and keeping our fingers crossed, and and as you can see, hospitality bits come along a long way, and the team's growing, and we're really pleased where we are. Really pleased.
What changed on the car? Is it generally about just how it's set up? Is it?
Yes, it's the whole suspension side is completely revamped, and like I say, Christopher Torville is probably one of the best engine builders in the pit lane, and we've got the lovely added value that he's not driving this year, so he's running us. So it's like a dream come true. Really is. It's really good. But let's see how we go. We're not finished yet, and love to catch up with you at the end of the race.
Yeah, will do. And hopefully I don't see any pink in the pit lane.
Exactly. And we've on our giving page for our we've got a giving page for cancer research for their charity, and we're collecting for them, and we're just got over £1,000 so far, so that's great. Really good.
I'm delighted.
After 4 hours, the 97 Team Lion and P2W cars remained close together, a lap ahead of the Crisis at Tête Rouge car. 3 laps back, the SL Racing team had moved up to 4th position, relegating Team Superschnecker to 5th. Since a small electrical problem at the beginning of the race, the Yellow Frog car had run trouble-free and had climbed all the way up to 8th position. This left Garage Cam with little to record beyond a concrete floor and the occasional lonely filmmaker. As the sun slipped towards the horizon, attrition started to show. The Blue Frog, the sister car to the Yellow Frog, pitted with the exhaust hanging off and suffering from various engine troubles. Over 35 minutes would be lost fixing the problems. The team were not the only ones experiencing trouble. Regimental Racing experienced engine issues that necessitated a similarly long delay, dropping the team to 25th place overall.
Spin her up.
At 9 o'clock, the race claimed another victim. This time, Rosie Walford Racing lost nearly half an hour with engine changes and other problems. It would be the first of several long stoppages the team would experience throughout the race. The Green Frog car, the third of the French team's entries, had experienced its own troubles. A fire in the engine bay at the end of the back straight early in the race suggested the car wouldn't be going any further. Miraculously, the car could be repaired, and as the evening rolled in, it re-emerged from the garage. Once the track became cloaked in darkness, the car would suffer from dimming lights, a problem that, if not rectified, would confine the car to the garage until fixed. The scrutineer wasn't happy.
Not much different when you came in. When you came in, and look at them still,
Lights ablaze enough to be legal, the car was cleared to rejoin the race.
I like the dark. So I try not to use the mirrors very much, because if you start looking at the lights, it ruins you. Yeah, just it's a bit squinty. The mirror in the car, I put it on dip, so you just see that the lights come up very gently behind you, and very quickly you work out which cars are which. Like the C1s are considerably faster than us. So, but then in some of the corners they brake halfway around the corner, which is really uncomfortable. So yeah, no, but I quite like driving in the dark. I put my yellow glasses on, everything looks yellow and lovely. So, and it's nice. You get to see get with a couple of big cars. I had a really good, 8 or 10 laps with Chris Hall. So yeah, no, it's been fun. I like the dark, and I quite like the sunrise shift as well, because you go out and it's pitch black, and then it gets a little bit brighter, and then the sun came up. But today was nice because the sun came up and then immediately disappeared behind the clouds. So yeah, but it's nice.
Once the sun goes down, the race begins to feel as though it has truly begun. Some drivers stick to the daylight hours, a few go quicker after the circuit is enveloped in darkness. The only part of the course lit properly is the pit lane, leaving the drivers to trace their own way along a ribbon of tarmac while the locals put to bed. While there can be comfort in the night, it also poses challenges. Things can go wrong, and when they do so very quickly indeed.
Again, I just stand behind him most of the time.
An hour shy of midnight, the SL racing car was collected, pitched into the wall hard and came to rest on the exit of turn 1. The damage was severe enough to demand the car be towed back. A quiet garage is always a bad sign. Work on the car lacked urgency. The news was not good. After much discussion, the decision was taken not to attempt the required repairs. Traditionally, extensive efforts are undertaken, including members from rival teams, to ensure every car reaches the end of the 24 hours. But this time, the job was deemed too much.
Well, I was trying to get some rest, so I was had my head down. And my sister came knocking on the car door to say there'd been an incident, and came out to find Lawrence going into turn 1, got caught up with another car. They basically just tangled and went off onto the inside and hit the barrier. So the cars had a massive front corner impact. The chassis bent. It's potentially fixable if people are prepared to spend the next 10 hours just to finish the race, but there's a little bit of concern that the scrutineers might not be happy with it. Some of the team think it's a bit of a liability they don't want to get involved in. So it looks like we are done.
Which is a great pity because it was running up there.
Yeah, I might have had my frustrations last time we spoke, but the car was still running well. I think we were 8th or something at that point in class, so still plenty to fight for. But it'd be nice to just finish, do a slow lap at the end to say we've done it, but we need people prepared to straighten up metal. But yeah.
Although to be classified finish, it's a certain percentage of laps, isn't it?
Well, it's the spirit of a 24.
Yeah.
It's cross the line at the end of the day. Doesn't really, so what if it's not classified?
Side points.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it now and it's a shame. But that's racing. Things happen. Lawrence is fine. No one else was hurt. No one was hurt at all, really. A bit of belt bruising maybe, but no, safety kit did its job, and it's not actually a huge job to re-chassis the car. He's already got another one organised, so it might be out for the end of the season.
Because the roll cage itself, I'm told, is fine.
Yeah, so the roll cage, the 2CVs, there's extra bits in the regs about having a floor brace because the chassis is inboard of the sills, so you've got quite a structural cross member at the base of the cage to tie it all together. So not only the roll cage fine, all the floor bracing is perfectly fine. So it's just a matter of could you get the 4 corners of contact, i.e. the wheels in the right places, and straighten out any kinks on the chassis so it's safe if there were another impact. It's not unattainable as a job, but just a big one and one that takes a bit of bloody-minded persistence to make happen.
There's a lack of activity, so...
Yeah, there's been about 20 minutes of people walking around the car. We've had various scrutineers looking at it. Team captain's not very happy to let us go on with it. So I think it's a matter of walk away for a bit, maybe look at it tomorrow morning and see if we can maybe change the mood in the camp. But at the moment, it looks like we're done.
There was a couple, 2 or 3 laps where there was a little bit of rain over the back there into the hairpin, but it's amazing how you can see it's just a few spots, so you know it's not going to make any difference. But psychologically, you're like, oh. Because then you're looking at the clouds, seeing if you think it is going to rain or not, even though there's no forecast. But I think it was just a little bit more. So I think about 4 or 5 laps, and then it just cleared, and it was all right.
Midnight. With 1/3 of the race completed, the P2W car had opened a lap-long advantage over Team Lion, which was itself 2 laps ahead of Crisis at Tête Rouge. By staying out of trouble, the Yellow Frog team was now in 4th place, 2 laps ahead of Team Super Schnecker in 6th position. Four o'clock in the morning marked the halfway point. P2W still led the way, but Team Lion had regained the lead lap, only 30 seconds behind on the road. Crisis at Tête Rouge was only 2 laps behind. Still 4th, the Yellow Frog was 9 laps back, and now reliant on one of the leading trio experiencing a major delay to improve its position. Having earlier been close to the Yellow Frog, Team Super Schnecker was now 6 laps adrift thanks to reliability issues during the night hours. As the P2W team settled into the morning, a sudden failure on the front left pitched the car off the road at turn 1. Over 20 minutes were lost retrieving, returning the car to the garages and fixing the problem. Any realistic chance of victory was dashed. Yet the car only dropped to 3rd place, a lap ahead of the Yellow Frog team, which itself had run almost flawlessly since the green flag dropped.
You were going very quickly for quite
We
a long
were.
time.
We were going very well up until, 6 o'clock? Was it 6 o'clock, somewhere around there? Sean went in, and unfortunately it looks like wheel nuts have caused failure on the wheel. So, unfortunately it had to get recovered, which obviously gave us a 3-lap penalty straight away. And then by the time the car had been taken up for the scrutineer to say yes, you can put a wheel on it and go back out and everything, obviously lost more time. But we put a wheel on, made sure all the bodywork was secured back on and everything, and sent him out, and the car's going as good as it was. Just shame we lost all that time.
Because I remember last year you were sort of on the coattails of the Lions car.
Yeah.
You couldn't quite get there on pace. This time it was roles reversed. What was
Yeah.
different?
I don't know, just a fresh engine I've got in that's just pulling really well. We've literally had to do nothing to it, put it in the car, go out, and it's all set up, and it's just working really well. It's worked in all the temperatures and conditions from the start. Hopefully it still goes. the same to the end, with it getting a bit warmer now.
Is that a worry?
It is, because although we're not leading by one lap, which is what we were ahead by nearly, it's only 2 laps to the car behind us. So obviously we want to finish as high as we can, and a top 3 for the drivers and the pit crew would be great. If I can't bring it back in first, we'll take what we can get, but yeah. And obviously the points for the championship are very important as well. But at the end of the day, we've got to finish.
Yeah, it's still, oh gosh, we're not even lunchtime, are we?
No, there's still, another, what would it be? 11, 6, 5, maybe 6 hours to go.
Yeah, so it's 3/4 distance.
3/4 distance, and anything can happen.
I am curious, I mean, the holes on the side are enormous.
Yes.
What happened? How did it stay on that long to develop holes that big in the front?
Well, what happens is it fractures around the actual hole where the wheel stud comes through, and it starts cracking out, and then obviously going into the first corner at speed he was going, and the load that's put on that wheel, it just forces it to crack and then just pulls through. But
Sean was saying he ended up in...
He ended up in Plato's Field with the straw and God knows what out there, yeah. Yes.
I mean, the wheel must have travelled, if it comes independent from the car at that point, it must have travelled.
Yeah, he had to go away to collect it. He says it flew a good distance in the air when it came off. But we've got it back. We don't want to litter the countryside.
You want to throw it now?
Well, I've got to hand it back to the person who lent it to me.
One careful owner?
Yes, one careful owner. Part used tyre. Be good for another, don't know what. Trouble is, I seem to be collecting a lot of spare parts from Snetterton races, but it is what it is, isn't it?
Quicker, that's just done. It's fastest.
Sorry, Lewis, I've just been told about 2 hours 20.
You know, we put an engine in, we serviced the engine on the bench, couldn't get the other engine started or working properly, so we started with that engine, and then we fired the engine up for about a minute, then realised that there wasn't any oil in it, so I felt pretty sure that the engine would be dead within about half a dozen laps. But here we are, you know, I don't know how many hours later, but it feels like quite a lot. 12 hours later, 13 hours later, and the engine's still going strong. So it's been, faultless. So the car's been brilliant. It handles great. It got a bit soft on the last 10 or 12 laps I just did. It's got quite a bit slidey. But then I realised when we've come in, both the rear tyres are flat, so that will hinder the handling a little bit. Yeah, no, I think the front wheels are the ones they're quite easy to change because you've got no wheel arch cover in the way. With the rear ones, you've got the extra 3 bolts to take the arch off. You've got to take the rear panel off first before you can then get the wheel off. But it's simple enough, you know, and it was very slick for us as well, I think, you know. I think when I was out on my first stint, I think because we've got 2 other engines, but they were trying to get those working, so if anything comes to this one, we've got the spare, and I don't think that's been very successful. So I think they're trying to get from one thing to another engine to get them to work, but to be honest, I've not asked Rick if they've carried on and they've got one of them going or not, but as we stand at the moment, the car's it's just metronomic. It's great, it's lovely. Yeah, the pink Super Schneck car, that's fast. That is fast.
5-6 laps.
Yeah, I think they've had more issues than us. So, because ultimately with endurance racing, it's that whole thing to finish first. First you must finish, and the key to winning endurance racing is not to break down. So, you know, the fact that we ended up coming in on the very first lap with an electrical problem that, you know, wires connected the wrong way around, left us dead last. So the fact we're sitting fourth now, you know, that's about the best place. I think it's the best place we've ever been. So I think we got fifth last year, but so this is great. But you know, as you know with endurance racing, so as you just like the 89 car has been leading the race and it's got a wheel off somewhere. So you know, glory can turn to disappointment in a heartbeat. So.
As the morning progressed, the probability of a change of positions coming about through pace alone dwindled. The Yellow Frog car maintained a healthy lead over the Super Schnegger car as noon came and went. With just 2 hours to go, the fourth place car suffered a wheel failure of its own. When the tow truck returned the car behind the garages, a new wheel was swiftly fitted, and the car headed back out on the track, having never actually reached its pit box. All told, the delay would cost 18 minutes, placing the team 6 laps behind the pink Super Schnegger. At 8 a.m, the Team Lion car was 2 laps in front of Crisis at Tete Rouge. After its turn 1 crash, P2W was now 10 laps back and reliant upon the leaders hitting trouble to progress beyond 3rd place. Yellow Frog was still in 4th, and Super Schnegger 6 laps further back in 5th. Despite suffering a substantial series of reliability problems through the night and into the morning, Rosie Walford Racing was still circulating. Team Super Schnegger was running well into Sunday morning, but then it struck trouble. The gear stick didn't feel right. Fearing a catastrophic failure, the driver left the car in 4th gear and limped back to the pits. Faults like this can cause lengthy stoppages. Accessing the gearbox is not easy. Replacing it is a big job. Fortunately, the problem was simple. The gear change mechanism had been welded, but then ground down so it would slide down the encasing tube. This created a weak point which eventually gave way. During the car's winter overhaul, this had not been spotted. The gear stick was changed, and it would be the last mechanical problem the car would experience.
We started. We have, apart from a few drops with the odd little pit stop and little problems and bits and pieces, we've managed to get back to 5th every time, and that's where we are at the moment. We're in 5th place with 2 hours, 16 minutes to go, and we're still in 5th place. No. We had, and we've got a brake issue at the moment, where we're not quite sure what it is, but we're having to lift much earlier and do a lot more coasting into the corners than heavy braking, which is really impeding us in trying to better the 5th place. I think the only way we can get better than 5th at the moment, if the ones in front have a bit of the bad luck that we've had during the night, you know. So, but no, from basically near on last from when we started to if fingers crossed we can finish in 5th at 4 o'clock is absolutely awesome. But it's the spirit of the race, which is the first year, don't like to boast, but 521 laps behind gave us the spirit of the race, because we tried and at the end of the day, you're here for the spirit of the race, and it's an unbelievable meeting. It's just like a big family village. It's just awesome. It really, and it's a pleasure to be here, you know. And I can see why people keep coming back, and we're progressing like anything. you try and just progress that little bit more each year, and if that's what you do, then what more can you ask for? But all the little bits count, you know. Like I say, we've had lots of little things which haven't cost us that much, but all the hard work the drivers that we've done to move us up, we've then lost on a little breakdown. Most of them we've been able to sort out on a standard pit stop, but it still extends the pit stop. But no, we're very, very happy where we are at the moment, and yes, we're definitely can't wait for next year.
So the amount of knowledge gained, especially from last year to this, is enormous.
Yeah. Well, there's two people to thank for that: Peter Sparrow and Christopher Torval. Those are the two people that have put us in this position. Because Peter had the car at the beginning of the year, and then went to Peter for the engine and all the running and everything else. So it's them that we owe a massive thank you to. Yeah.
But you can't unlearn knowledge in many ways.
Absolutely.
So,
and Krista's even offered, and she has done, has run us for this meeting, which has just been those little jobs which you've seen and said, yeah, they've been easy fixes. That's because the person who's been fixing them, not that they were necessarily easy fixes, because of the knowledge that person and what he put into the car for those sort of things. You make the car as easy work on as you possibly can to save time, you know, because 24 hours is a long time. And these are, well, you know how old the cars are. Now there's bits that we sort of manufacture ourselves and that, but there's none of your fancy materials or anything like that on them. We have to keep it as it was made in period. I mean, we're not even allowed to change the bloody wing mirrors. Now I do disagree with that, because that's a safety issue and it's got nothing to do with performance, but that's what sort of happens with historic rules. You know, if we change the wing mirrors, we can change the bonnet, no, it's about, we want it to look exactly the same as the original 2 CVs. And it's awesome. It really is. Yeah.
Noon. Team Lion led the way, 2 laps ahead of Crisis at Tête Rouge. P2W was unable to make meaningful inroads into their deficit and continued in 3rd place. Yellow Frog now enjoyed a 5-lap advantage over Super Schnecker in 4th and 5th places respectively. In many ways, no lead is safe in this form of racing. Major components can break at any moment. With just half an hour to go, the lead Team Lion once again suffered a late race failure. Coming down the back straight, the car failed to turn left into the S's, stopping out on track. It was then pushed down an access road. Luckily, the engine refired, and the car driven back around to the garage. A faulty battery was to blame. 9 minutes elapsed before the car exited the pit lane, still a lap ahead of Crisis at Tête Rouge. When the checkered flag was waved at 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon, Team Lion had won again, less than a lap ahead of Crisis at Tête Rouge. P2W continued without any further trouble and completed the podium in 3rd. Team Super Schnecker finished 4th, the team's best result. The Yellow Frog was 5th. After its big late-night accident, SL Racing was the only 2CV not to reach the end. With that, the teams packed up and departed homeward. Some might ask what the point of it was. Why drive around in circles for an entire day? The destination isn't really the point at all. The point is to prove character, to overcome obstacles, to endure and to achieve individual goals. It's mountain climbing, but it takes place on Norfolk asphalt.